Argentina, last 16 World Cup. I come on in the game, and we get to extra time, and he gets the penalties. And Glenn gets us all in a circle, and he goes, Incy, Batty, Shearer, Merce, Michael, penalties. Now, just before I take this penalty, I've got to tell you how my head works, because this is exactly how my head works. I hate flying. I get on a plane, I'm petrified. My hands drip, I sweat, I have panic attacks a lot. So I'm sitting on a plane one day waiting to go on holiday, my hands dripping, sweating, panic attacks, I spray all this stuff in my mouth and everything. And all of a sudden, as I'm sitting there, Nick Faldo walked on my plane. Yeah. I thought, thank God for that, he ain't dying, he's famous. And then I'm all right then. That's how my head works. So I'm standing on the halfway line, I'm going to take a penalty against Argentina in the World Cup. And all I can think about is 3 months before this, I had a penalty at Sheffield United on a Tuesday night for Middlesbrough. I get a penalty, I put the ball on the spot, and as I get up, it was the worst thing I've ever had in my life. My confidence went and the goal literally shrunk like an ice hockey goal. And I knew I couldn't score out. It was a horrible feeling. And I couldn't turn around and say someone else take it. I think I'm a bit weak. So I knew I couldn't score. And as I got near the ball, the goalie dived. And I could have literally stopped, got on my knees and headed it in the corner. And I smashed it 40 rows over the bar. Now, usually when I miss a penalty, the goal kick was always save it. So I'm standing on the halfway line, I'm thinking, and that's going through my head, I'm thinking, if I can't score at Sheffield on a Tuesday, I'm going to let my wife, my kids, my mum and dad, my country down. And Glenn Hoddle will see me petrified. Glenn Hoddle would have still been manager of England now, if he didn't say what he said. Player, manager, bloke, international tactics. Believe me, he was phenomenal. Very spiritual. Yeah. Very spiritual. And he come up to me on the halfway line, he used to do this thing with his hand. And he got his hand, he put it right on the middle of my chest, and he looked me in the eye and he went, "You will not miss." I went, thank God for that. And I walked off, I thought, I can't miss. Honestly, I thought I couldn't miss. And I walked down to the penalty spot from the halfway line, because that's the walk. People would never talk about, you know, oh, it's a penalty. It's from the halfway line to the ball that you miss it. And I got down there and I put the ball on the spot. And as I got up, it was the best feeling I've ever had in my life.
The goal got bigger.
Oh, believe me, I spent a lot of money on feelings. The goal was massive. And I knew I couldn't miss. And I turned round, I went to take my penalty, and the goalie was arguing with the ref. I thought, don't use your joker on me. Glenn's told me I'm scoring. You better do it on someone else here. And he got booked. And I run up, and he got his hand to it, and he put it in the top corner. And lucky enough, I scored my penalty. But I always look back, and I think if Ince and Batty was as scatty as me, we could have probably won the World Cup that year.
I was at Portsmouth. And we'd got knocked out of the FA Cup against Man United in the third round. So in the fourth round, we ain't got a game because the team we're supposed to be playing are still in the FA Cup. So the week before we played we played, and I went and see Harry after the game. I said, Harry, do us a favour. I said, we ain't got a game next week, got a game for 2 weeks. He said, I'm struggling with the gambling and all that. I said, can I go into Tony Adams Treatment Centre for a week or so? He said, I'll tell you what, after the game Saturday, go to Tony's for a week. I'll see you in training the following Monday. Get ready for Barnsley. So I said, all right, brilliant. So when I got home, I said to the missus, pack the bags, we're going to Barbados. There's nothing wrong with me, do you know what I mean? I'm going to Barbados. So I flew to Barbados, and we're walking around with the twins through Barbados one day. All of a sudden, Cockney geezer comes up to me. He goes, all right, Merce, how's it going? I went, yeah, I'm good. He went, doing well, flying at Portsmouth. I said, yeah. And he was going, do you reckon you're old on? I said, yeah, I think so. See you later, have a nice time. I don't know this, he's Harry's best mate. So Harry thinks I'm in treatment. So he goes back to his villa and he rings Harry up. Harry tells me this story 2 years later. He rings Harry up, he goes, all right, Harry. He went, all right, Dave, how are you? He went, oh, yeah, I'm good. He went, what are you up to? He went, just been with one of your players. He went, who's that? He went, Paul Mersons. Harry went, oh my God, Dave, what's wrong with you then? He thought he was in treatment with me. He went, what do you mean? He went, he's in treatment at Tony Adams. He's in Barbados. I just see him walking down the street. I come back, honestly, he was black, tanned up and everything. He never said a word. Never said a word, and that's what he was like. Never told me it 2 years later.
We played Norwich away last day of the season. We couldn't win the league. We were well out of it. So we get to Norwich, get to the hotel about 2 o'clock. It's a beautiful sunny day on a Friday. So me, Baldy, Grovesy, Nigel, I think Kevin Richardson, we went for a walk around. We found a pub. So we get outside the pub, we all have half each. So we have an half. So we're sitting there, we have another half. And then all of a sudden, a couple of the other lads come round the corner. Lee Dixon, Alan Smith, a couple of the others. What are you doing? I'm just having a beer. Oh, go on, we'll have half. So they have half, then they leave. So now the table's full of beer.
Yeah.
Full of glasses, empty glasses. George walks round the corner and he just gives it the old nod like that. Doesn't say a word, not a dicky bird. Played a game, Norwich.
Did you beat them, by the way?
I can't even remember. I had that many. We went to Singapore the next day. We had a game over there. So we went over there for a week. I think it was 1 or 2 games. After that, we're going to Bali for a week. All expenses paid. Do what you want. So perfect. Played a game. George hasn't said anything. Finish. Go out that night. Get down in the morning. Got all our bags packed. Flowery shirts on. We're going Bali. Just as we're about to go on the coach, he stops us, 4 of us. I mean, here's your tickets, you're going home. You don't drink before a game.
No.
Seriously, had to go home.
Really?
Yeah, sent us home. Didn't say a word. That's how ruthless he was. He didn't
What
even...
about the other 2? What about Smudger?
No, they were all on the coach waving. Yeah, that was...
I love Paul Merson. He is special to me. He'll always be special. And I'm great friends with him now. He's had his issues, and I probably treated him a bit differently to the rest of them. Understatement. Mm-hmm. But they didn't mind because he was special. Big tribute from Harry there.
Yeah, I love Harry. I think he was unbelievable for me. Great manager, great man, and still a very good friend, which is nice. And I think that's what it's all about in football. If you stay friends with people, that's even more of a bonus.
And I don't want to call Harry Redknapp a maverick, you know, I'm not sure Harry would like it, but he was a one-off, wasn't he? I mean, of all the managers you had, would he be the one you enjoyed playing under the most, and did he understand you best?
I mean, the name of the game is winning stuff. You know, I won everything at Arsenal, bar in them days it was the European Cup. So George was very good, an unbelievable manager. Taught us the game, probably done our coaching badges on the pitch without even knowing we was doing our coaching badges. You know, if you go through the team, you know, we're talking 30 years ago now. Ian Wright's on telly, I'm on telly, Alan Smith's on telly, Perry Groves does the radio, you know, Lee Dixon does the telly, you know, Steve Bowles a manager, Tony Adams has been a manager, you know, all still involved, which is just shows you how good George was. But Harry was just like the best man manager I've ever played under. And I mean in a man manager where you'd have thought he just finished playing himself. You know, he knew you, he knew how you were thinking, you knew how he was, you know, he'd just let you go out and play. But you had to go out and play. You know, he would say, right, just go out and do what you want. I'll get players around you, you know, get the ball to Merce, make runs, he'll find you the ball. But you had to do it. He'd soon let you know if you didn't do it. You know, he wasn't one of them who would go, oh, he's had a shit game, let's just leave. He would go mad at you in the dressing room. He'd pick you out and he'd go, that ain't good enough. You know, he was one of them. He was so strong as a manager. When I hear people go, oh, wheeler dealer, he was definitely one of the best managers I played under. And I played under good managers. And I would definitely say he was up there without a doubt.
He doesn't get the credit he deserves.
100% not. You know, 100%. You know, he managed over 1,000 games. I only not played the following year because I just found my standard of football, and I just thought I was coming towards the end. And I didn't want to embarrass myself, and I didn't, you know. And I know Harry would have wanted a bit more, and I couldn't give that. But I couldn't talk highly enough of the bloke. Honestly, give me the best year in my footballing career, if I'm being honest, at Portsmouth.
How did he persuade you to go there?
And he rang me up. He said, you've just been released. I'd just been released by Villa. You know, couldn't get into Graham Taylor's team. And I understood he wanted legs in the team, and I understand that. And I was at home the next day, and Harry rang me up. He said, is that Merce? I said, yeah, when it's Harry Redknapp. And I never talked to him before. And he said, I'd be interested in bringing you down and we'll meet for a couple of years, son. And I just said, where are you, Harry? And he went, I'm manager at Portsmouth now. And I said, well, what are they like? And he went, they're fucking shit, son. That's exactly how he went. He went, I've got rid of every one of them. I've kept Nigel Quasi. I've got 10 new players on free transfers. He said, I want you to come down, be the captain for a couple of years. We'll give it a right effing go. And I said, Harry, I have to stop you there, mate. I said, I'm living up in the Midlands now. I said, I'm not going to move down for 2 years. I'm definitely not travelling down every day at my age. I had that at Middlesbrough. He said, I tell you what, son, don't work Mondays, don't work Wednesdays, don't work Fridays, but you make sure you turn it on a Saturday. And I'll be down in the morning, Harry. And I loved it. Honestly, I could not talk highly enough of the club, the players, the fans. And I had my best ever game I ever played in. I played, I think, 700 games. The best game I ever played in my whole footballing career was at Millwall away. We won 5-0 and I got a standing ovation from the Millwall fans. Like, Harry brought me off with 5 minutes to go and they all stood up, every one of them. And that's some going. I've played at Millwall a few times. And after the game, I was getting in my car and an old bloke come up to me about 70 odd years of age. And he said, I've been coming to this ground since I was 5, son. I've never seen anybody get that. Yeah. And I always look out for their scores today. Always look out for Millwall scores. It's weird, yeah, but I always look out for their scores.
I played with a kid who come over to England, and I definitely thought he was going to be better than the Brazilian Ronaldo, and that was an Elka. When he come over, he was about 17, and he was leaving Tony Adams and Steve Bold on their backside every 2 minutes. We used to do this one-on-one where we'd stand in between the halfway line and the 18-yard box, the forwards, and the defender would start on say the 18-yard line, and Jules Graham would chip a ball into you, and you'd have to run at the defender one-on-one, and then you'd have to try and beat the keeper. Well, I seriously don't think he ever missed. He'd get the ball and he'd leave all the defenders, whoever was doing it against him, and then Dave Seaman would come out and just go round him like he wasn't there. I seriously thought he was going to be the best in the world, and he should have been. Should have been as good as Ronaldo.
What do you think held him back, though? As a former teammate?
I don't know, really. He didn't really get involved with the lads at the time. I think a lot of the lads didn't really didn't really get on with him. They thought he was arrogant. I didn't. I thought he was a top bloke because I played in the reserves a couple of times when I was injured with him, and he was a good player. I don't know, that would be a question you probably have to ask him. He'd probably know that, but he should have been the best in the world.
Interesting. Okay.
At 17, he was. You couldn't. I don't know if someone could be that good at 17.
Right, I'm going to tell you a true story. When I joined Arsenal from Luton Town in 1995, I became Britain's most expensive teenager. It was a huge moment for myself, my family. And I remember when I first walked into the Arsenal dressing room, it was full of proper football players, what you would call bordering on legends. It was the England back four. It was David Seaman, Lee Dixon, Tony Adams, Martin Keown, Boldy, Nigel Winterburn, Ian Wright. Proper footballers. So 19 years of age, I'm still a baby. Our plan for that particular week was we train on the Monday, we fly to Germany on the Tuesday, and we play a Champions League qualifier on the Wednesday. So I'm walking down the corridor, Arsenal training ground, and Paul Merson comes walking towards me. And he said to me, could you do me a favour this morning in training? So half sort of whispered it to me. I said, no problem. I said, what is it? He said, well, the thing is, he said, I've just bought a horse and she makes her first run at Ascot on Wednesday. I went, oh yeah. He said, I don't want to go to Germany tomorrow. He said, I want to watch my horse run at Ascot. Do me a favour. I said, what's that? He said, could you give me a little kick this morning in training? He said, I'll go over and I'll miss the trip to Germany and I'll be able to go and see my horse run. I couldn't believe what he was asking me to do. So we go out to training, Merce just jogs past me like that, and I go, wallop. I've raked 8 studs down the back of Paul Merson's calf. So he's rolling, screaming in agony, right? All the lads are like that. What are you doing, John? What are you doing? He's our best player. Tony Adams comes over. He goes, Johnny boy, save it, son, save it. So anyway, Paul actually gets up. There's about 30 seconds left of that particular session. And I can feel Paul Merson's presence just jogging up alongside me. And he whispers in my ear, any chance of making it look realistic? So I'm thinking, oh no, what am I going to do here? There must be seconds left of this session. The ball is bouncing like that in front of the manager. I've took off, literally, and I've caught him there. I've cut him in half. He's gone up in the air, bang, down like a sack of spuds. The manager walks off the training ground and the players are like that. Oh my God. Paul Merson didn't play for 4 months. And I got fined 3 weeks' wages. That's a true story.
I once read, Merce, that you asked out Kylie Minogue at the Brit Awards. Is this true?
Yeah. No, I was at the Brit Awards. Got invited. My agent knew people at Sony Records, and I was well tanked up. And I went up to her and said, "Would you go out with me?"
And how did she let you down?
She didn't. We went out for about 3 months, and then I broke it up. Like I did. She went no. Oh no, she said no straight away. A bouncer come over and said, "Get away."